Welcome back to the juiciest news for my yummy donuts. Did you know that there's a rumor out there that you are actually wearing socks right now? We don't have much news today, friends, because the crypto industry is on its knees. And no, not those types of knees. Get your mind out of the gutter. We are on the knees of friendship. Michael Chad Saylor wanted to buy more Bitcoin and buy more Bitcoin. He did. He bought an extra 16,000 Bitcoin for MicroStrategy. I still think my dark prophecy will be fulfilled. What does that mean? Well, just to let you know, MicroStrategy has a bond due for payments in 2025. They're going to have to pay it off somehow. So they are accumulating, and probably towards 2025, they're going to have to start selling off the Bitcoin. But here's the thing. MicroStrategy hired a new Asian dude. He is the CEO. And this dude, he doesn't care. Because if he doesn't do everything to save the shareholders of MicroStrategy, he's going to jail. Wouldn't you love that for all the DeFi protocols out there? Imagine there was a law that said you have a fiduciary responsibility to win for your shareholders. Unfortunately, what we have is fake DeFi. We have fake trash governance coins like fake DeFi Uniswap, all these other fake DeFi garbage protocols. They don't implement anything to do with tokenomics. Or if they do, they are heavily timing it. That's actually the worst part. So there are probably things coming out for big protocols out there, but you know what those sneaky little bastards are going to do? They're going to release it in 2024. But for now, we get to enjoy Michael Chad Saylor with his big Chad chin buying Bitcoin. Unfortunately, friends, in crypto as well, we don't have much because people are talking about canceling Disney, Elon Musk and his Cybertruck. That's literally all there is. But what are we really waiting for? Well, every day, Groundhog Day, we got to pump it and dump it and pump it and dump it and pump it and pump it and pump it. Look at this. We just keep going up through this channel for Bitcoin. There is nothing new waiting for us around the corner that we can see right now. But I promise you one thing. You see it down here, friends. See December. You heard this month, December? Well, after December comes January. January begins a new year. We tick over to 2024. And I promise you, 2024 is going to tick over. And for some reason, you're just going to see more protocols, more founders, more updates. People are going to be like, wow, we're releasing version 4 of our protocol that you didn't know existed. And they're just going to start adding everything. Why? It's because basically everyone's a grifter. They're all trying to time it for the Bitcoin halving. They want the bull market retailers to come in and absorb all the pressure of all their selling. This is the unfortunate truth of the crypto industry. Now, as we traverse the weekly super trend here, I want you to know something too. In the stock market world, you do have things like planned obsolescence, where they're like, you know what, this iPhone, after version 5, more updates, your iPhone today is going to be poop. And they do things like that. And they also do things where they don't put every possible upgrade today. So the tech industry does that. But there's a difference here. They kind of let shareholders know things are around the corner. And if they lie, they go to jail. In the crypto industry, we don't have that. In the crypto industry, you're basically gambling. Yes, not even speculating. You are gambling that the owners of your protocol, the guys who own all the tokens, and yes, they are all centralized. It doesn't matter who it is. Somebody out there has the bulk of the tokens. You are betting that they aren't rich enough in their mind. So they want to keep releasing updates. So that's why this game is so freaking hard. That's also why I'm going to give you a bit of a crank, friends, because you deserve a crank. Weekly candles. What comes next? We are traversing $37,000. If only you had a friend who's been talking about the number $37,000 back when we were at $16,000. Because $37,000 is the break-even soy boys, friends. They're looking at the portfolios every single day. We're going to go through it every single week. They're looking, should I exit for break-even? What should I do? I want to see how far this goes. And guess what? If we tease them with a winner and then we tease them with a loss, they're going to capitulate. I also want to remind you why you're in crypto, by the way, because sometimes you'll see a couple of people who are from the XRP community come onto Twitter. And I want you to understand something, friends. So if you're holding XRP, That's fine. Keep holding it. I'm not telling you to buy or sell or whatever. I'm just telling you this chart tells you everything you need to know. This chart is XRP versus Bitcoin for 10 years, okay? XRP BTC. That means it's XRP relative to Bitcoin. And if you go to the start of this chart from 2013 and you go all the way now, you see this number here, friends? You see 71%. What that means is if you go back to 2013 and you bought Bitcoin and you also bought XRP, your gains on XRP is 70% less than Bitcoin, okay? You did not overperform Bitcoin. And you might say, well, but it doesn't matter because Bitcoin killed it. No, it does matter. Why does it matter? Why did you take all that risk with this company to dump on your face to enrich themselves when you could have bought Bitcoin, the index? It's basically a failure, okay? Now, obviously, there were points where it went up from here, but hey, that's what you're betting on again. I mean, I'm hoping for the XRP army lets you all out. That's what I'm hoping happens. But this is how you interpret this chart. Unfortunately, the XRP army, well, also, if you're holding XRP, you don't want the army to wake up to this. But the truth is that the XRP army, in all their blessed passion ways, they don't want to spit on Ripple because this chart says you've been robbed. You understand? Robbery. That's what this chart is saying. It's saying robbery. How's it robbery? It means as Bitcoin has gone up over time, the excess return on XRP has been dumped every single time. By who? Who has all the coins? Oh, God, I can't figure it out. Cripple. Cripple have all the coins, friends. Cripple dump the inflation. And they have these little manipulative tactics where they release all the coins and then they send back 70%. But that doesn't really matter, friends. That's like I go to your safe every week and I go, you've got $1,000 in here. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out $3,000, but then I'm going to put back $2,000 in your safe. Do you see? That's what Ripple have done with XRP coins. They just send that back. So when you find a coin, your goal is to outperform Bitcoin and now especially Ethereum. If you're getting this chart, it means you are being dumped on for all these cycles. Now, look, it could have been a lot worse, of course. It can get much, much, much worse. It could have been like down to, zeros right here. But now you know the game you're playing. People who don't chart in BTC, they have absolutely no idea what they're doing. All right, mark my words, they're all going to get wrecked over time because they don't know what to look for. You want to know what's interesting as well? This is the S&P 500. It's fascinating how this thing, like, you know what's going to scam everybody, but before it does the scamming, it scams to the upside. The S&P 500 is the greatest market at fake outs you'll ever see in your life. It is so efficient. It is so efficient that the insiders are trying to scam the other insiders. That's how difficult it is to manipulate this thing. Now, the S&P 500 fans, just to remind you, if you're new to crypto, you got to be super careful of this, okay? Crypto has never entered a bull market unless the S&P 500 is making new highs. Never. In the whole history of Bitcoin, we are heading up towards it now. So I hope, this is what I hope, friends. This is what I'm praying. I'm praying for this scenario to happen where the S&P 500 goes up, all right? It goes up, and then it crashes back down, okay? And in this crashing back down part here, I'm hoping that see, this is the year, now we're in 2025 here, this is the whole year. I'm hoping, praying that this crash down part does not affect crypto deeply, because I hope by the end of 2024, so as we enter 2025, you see this part, I hope that when we look at Bitcoin, I will be able to see, I go, you know what? Yes, it's great that we've gone up, friends. It's really good we've gone up. And I'll say, but the thing is, the stock market is way below all-time highs, all right? And it's very obvious. So that's what we're looking for. I'm looking for a very obvious sign because we know from history Crypto, we say it's money, but it doesn't trade like money. It trades like tech, which means it correlates to the tech market. There's interest rate differentials that influence it. Macro, these countries and bonds and all this fiat, it trades like a technology. It doesn't actually trade like a stable money. Maybe it does in the future, but not right now. A lot of people don't want to admit this as well because we're like, oh, this is just technology money, right? No, it's more technology than it is money, all right? So this is a scenario I hope happens because you see the tip of this red arrow, friends? If we're here, I could have a lot of conviction and I could say, hey, the bull market's gone for 12 to 15 months. Everybody's saying that the best is yet to come and they're all turbo leveraged long in crypto. However, the stock market's poopy and it's very obviously poopy. So you know what would be a very bad scenario, friends? So that's a good scenario we're looking for. A tough scenario would be this, where the stock market at the end of 2025, it's like this, and it's like teetering here. That's why it's tough. Because this is all-time highs. See this green line? We're above all-time highs. If this happens, it's going to be really rough. Because at this point, technically, it's repeating the 4-year cycle. The stock market is doing everything it did in the past 3 cycles for Bitcoin, 2012, 2016, 2020. It repeated, and now this is the 4th time. It's at new all-time highs. There is no reason to exit. And why I'm scared here is because the stock market is at sky-high valuations. And you remember here, friends, the US Fed banned themselves from owning stocks right there. And next is US Congress. And when they do that, friends, you got to remember, for the next 10 years, Habib, they don't need to own any of these things. They're going to find new ways to make money. Politicians, they get business deals. They find other ways to get equity. They're just not allowed to own public stocks to enrage the public. So this would be a dangerous scenario for us because then you're really gambling. Now it's like, oh my gosh. Well, imagine the stock market goes like this in 2025. That would be a disaster because you had so many things telling you that it was going to repeat and then it failed at the end. And it just failed. Why? Just because it just wanted to, right? So I'm praying that we don't get this scenario because that's going to be really tough. Because if the stock market is in a very obviously bad place compared to being all-time highs, we'll definitely know, all right, something's up and you got to be careful because you will know, all right, from 3 out of 3 previous cycles, we were not screaming euphoria in crypto unless the stock market was in new all-time highs. So if this happens, at least you have a plan, friends, because this is the thing. You could get out here, protect yourself. Let's say stock market is like this for 2025. You can say, hey, I'm going to trim out some of my portfolio. Some in Bitcoin, some Ethereum, some USD, whatever. If the stock market makes new highs, okay, sweet. We have a 30, 60, 90-day delay and you can get into crypto. And yes, you won't be able to get into your core coins, but it doesn't really matter because if this happens, you're going to have a mania. You're going to be having SHIB 2.0 type of coins, like absolute poop flying around, new grifts, new scams, new low float type of coins and projects coming out. There's going to be like competitive coins. There's going to be an oversupply of tokens and people forking stuff. So that's what you would be waiting for. So you have no issues of FOMO there. I think it's also important, friends, to look at the core fundamentals of crypto because it all comes down to the ETH BTC ratio. Ethereum, the premier smart contract platform. Bitcoin, the only store of value in crypto pretty much by itself, the de facto one with the best downside volatility, protecting everybody over time. Sure, the gains don't go as good, but you have to look at them for what they are. They're the leaders of the industry right now, and their ratio is super important. And right now, it's still grinding along the zone. A lot of people, by the way, they zoom into this chart and they go, well, it's over. It's over for Ethereum, isn't it? No. Remember, I've got these boxes here of the pre-Bitcoin halvening year and how their 4th quarter goes. You see this? This is Poopy Town, and you also see another one, Poopy Town here. And look what happens after Poopy Town. Zip up, we start zipping up. So if that happens again, that means all your core coins, no matter what you're holding, have a very high probability of rising up in crypto. But look, at the end of the day, we just don't know how far these things are going to go, because even though the 4-year cycle is playing out to the T right now, there is no 100% guarantee that it's going to continue. The fractal Ponzi is still grinding along its zone. If there's some sort of test, you're going to have to use that. If you have any cash on the sidelines, buy the dip, because that might literally be the final one before we get that pre-Bitcoin halving run. But of course, we're waiting for that Rocco Negative ETF and all the other junk to come out to see if we're truly going to get scammed or not. Make sure you like, subscribe, belly button all. Don't forget who loves you. Catch you soon.